Now, I don't want you to get emotional, okay? I know you're upset that this is the last series of Pat, but you've got to compose yourself for this video, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
A tear, Lucy? No, don't cry. While there's life, there's Doctor Who Review here on this channel. Hello, welcome back. This is our Season 6 review, and we're joined by a special guest.
Me
Who's CBA. But we BA, because we're carrying on our little marathon. Again, to clarify for those who just caught up, I'm Christopher, that's Lucy.
I'm Lucy.
Hello there,
It's
cockneys.
not my real voice, if you didn't already know.
It is really. It's a bedroom voice. We have been watching Doctor Who from the start. The rules are simple. Everything to entertain is released. No reconstructions unless they're available on to entertain. No target novelizations. We are adults who do not have the time for all that. So, yeah, we want to get it done as quickly as possible. We are on the final series, or we've just finished the final series of Patrick Troughton's Second Doctor, featuring Wendy Padbury as Zoe and Fraser Hines as Jamie McCrimmon.
Jamie!
And you're a bit upset about this one.
I am sad.
Tell the viewer for why, good sir.
I nearly said Patrick Stewart there.
Well, you do love Patrick Stewart.
I do love it. Who doesn't love Patrick Stewart? I love Paddy Troughton. I think he's hilarious. I think he's charming. And I'm really, really sad that he's going. Because he's like the perfect Doctor to me. He's clever.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's compassionate. He's manipulative in a good way.
He's not nasty,
Like he'd rather not
but...
go in violently.
But he's also not afraid to finitely end a villain's story.
Yeah, I've noticed that with like these Doctors that people die and it's like
and in some of his stories, he's responsible for the death of the villain.
Oh dear.
But that's whatevs, Trevs.
It's the time.
Never cruel, never cowardly. Not yet. So without further ado, should we go story by story and see if it'll help your therapy? I think you're crying.
I have a therapy dog just for this.
Yeah, she's here just for this. She's our own canine.
She's a little poo.
She's our own canine. Who's that? You'll find out later. You know.
I know who canine is.
You know. She knows. Anyway, okay. Now, in the reality of the show going out, there wasn't a break between the last story and this one. This was on straight away. However, there was a production gap after these two stories. But start series 6 is The Dominators. What do you remember of the plot of The Dominators?
I remember the plot of The Dominators.
Well, they land on what's the name of the planet? It's Dulcis. Dulcis.
Dull?
Dulcis.
Dull is a word.
And the Dulcians, they're the people who live there and who are ultra intelligent and peaceful.
Wear curtains.
Wear curtains. Oh my god, those costumes.
Oh my god. Guys.
You recall the plot while I attack the cats.
Sorry, we live in a zoo now, just so you guys know.
Just so you guys know.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the Dominators land on this planet and they want to take over.
Or determine at least whether the species are worth...
It is worth taking them into slavery to build things.
Yeah.
So it turns out that people on this planet don't like confrontation, they don't like fighting, they try and sort things out logistically, or they will just, submit, essentially.
But they've got a log flume / tube system.
They do,
so that's
which is
nice.
interesting.
And they have a museum of weapons.
The cat. Flipping heck.
They have a museum of weapons from the past.
They do.
So there is that.
Did I mention they wear curtains?
You did, twice.
Yeah, awful. So, they have these little robots. What are the robots called?
The Quarks.
The Quarks, which were, we watched a little documentary afterwards, little boys in boxes. That's what they were.
Little boxes with little boys in.
That they push over regularly.
Yeah, and these were meant to be Dalek replacements. We're back in that territory where Terry Nation had gone, I'm going to take the Daleks elsewhere. BBC went, oh.
Just stop.
Which is why there's no Dalek story in this series, although one of them makes a very brief appearance visually in the War Games. But, yeah.
But, yeah, the Doctor, Jamie and Zoe get stuck there. Is it Zoe? It is Zoe, isn't it? Yeah.
It is Zoe. We're on full-on Zoe mode now. After she joined the Wheel in Space. Yeah.
And they land there, don't they? And they're trying to figure out what's going on. But Jamie and the Doctor get kidnapped by them, really? Get caught by them.
That was fun. That was the stuff I like, is the stuff where... Because just
they
clarify,
investigating?
I'd never watched this one. I hadn't watched this one before, so this was interesting to me. They get captured and they play dumb.
Play dumb, and it's fantastic.
Because the Doctor realises that they'll just be left alone.
Yeah.
If they play dumb. And it's fun, isn't it?
It is funny, yeah.
Even if it means they have to like be electrocuted by the tests and things like that.
It's quite adorable.
It's mostly those moments where, like, once the Dominators leave them be, they're just like, right, how do we screw them up? That's right, I can put your tea down here if you want.
Yeah, Carl and Khaleesi today.
We are, yeah. To continue the mug theme.
You can't really say.
I love Game of Thrones. I love the bit where they throw the ring into Mount Doom.
Stop. You will be watching it, though.
I love the bit where they throw the ring into Mount Doom and then the Sean Connery dragon...
Sean Connery? Stop. That's not even... No.
Dragonheart.
It's not even relevant.
Yeah, it is.
To this day and age.
Dominators costumes go.
Wow. What I found really funny about them is that they didn't look at each other.
Yeah, they never looked at each other.
It's as if the actors really hated each other. Or at least one of them did, anyway.
This one... I mean, it has a...
It has a stupid charm.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's
not
not
good.
Hated it, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh no. The two who wrote it initially really liked it, and they retained the rights to the Quarks. They'd be They argued about the rights to the Quarks. They'd get merchandise because they'd be merchandise them and put them in the comic strip and all this stuff. They're not very good. They look great, and then you see them in motion, and you go, "Oh no!" They look like something Wallace and Gromit would find on the moon.
Yeah, it looked like that oven thing.
It's just...
What was that?
It was an oven thing. Yeah. It's not great, but there's a weird charm to it. And
it was boring, but
the blessed release is that it was an episode shorter than it was meant to be.
Yeah,
Because was it Derek Sherwin saw it and he went, "Yeah, this is just gonna be dragged out. Get rid of one and add it to the next one."
Yeah.
So the Mind Robber went from a 4-parter to a 5-parter. So we have 2 5-parters.
I really don't know what they'd have done in an extra episode.
Just ambled around a bit more. Probably.
God. It was so boring.
I could not have watched another episode of that.
No.
It's got it's like the Web Planet. It's got a charm, but I am not rushing to watch this anytime soon.
It was a zone out one, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. Do you know what wasn't a zone out one? The Mind Robber, which I had seen before. I like this. It's sort of a weird spiritual remake of the Celestial Toymaker. Jamie has a different face for an episode.
He does.
Because Fraser Hines had chickenpox.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bless Fraser Hines.
But it's really good, and the actor who replaces him
is really
acts
funny.
like Jamie
and he's
quite
actually
well.
Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah, so there was a Scottish Jamie. There was a Scottish Jamie.
A real Scot.
This was fun. This was essentially about a being from outside of reality putting them through a test that's eventually revealed to be not even acting of his own accord necessarily. He's using the imagination of this writer to get his stuff done.
Yeah.
Hence why it's very English things. It's somebody recounting Gulliver's travels. Like Gulliver is in it.
And then there's toy soldiers.
Toy soldiers and these weird little tests and these horrible white robot things. They were pretty cool. There's some eerie shit in the first episode when Zoe and Jamie are sort of acting like under its thrall. Sort of. It's like really creepy, like inverted colours and everything. It
was not what I expected. It was a lot more modern-y than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's full of historical tropes, like Medusa and things like that. Sorry about that, Medusa briefly attacked the camera. Ooh. But then we were like, "No, Zoe, she's not real!" And she disappeared. In completely unrelated news, the cats have just been put out. So...
I wonder why!
This has got one of the most famous shots in the whole series, one of the most famous cliffhangers ever, where the TARDIS just explodes.
That's a cool shot.
And they're spinning in a void, and Zoe and Jamie are clinging to the console for dear life.
Booty.
Yeah, Lucy noticed the notorious thing that a lot of fans have heard of and seen and whatnot, where it's like, is this entire cool shot being upstaged by Wendy Padbury's arse?
Sorry, excuse me, I've lost my needle.
Oh God.
Knitting a hat.
As long as she didn't lose it. In the realm of fiction. What was it called again?
I like Zoe.
I can't remember what it's called now.
She's so tiny and she's absolutely stunning. I can't help but spot that, but
she's very tiny.
She is very, very teeny tiny, and her outfits are awesome. Like she was wearing a sparkly
cat suit in this one,
it was amazing.
It's very cool.
girl.
The wardrobes get really cool at this point because even Jamie starts to sort of not just wear his Highlanders stuff. He starts wearing like modern shirts.
He does. I'm pretty sure you could buy that on Boohoo now. The shirt he was wearing.
I dig this a lot.
I thought it was great.
It gets flack.
There was
this
actual
one.
peril in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets flack this one, but I don't really get it.
Why?
I don't.
What
I
do
think
people say about it.
At the time it was slagged off by people saying it was a bit too silly for Doctor Who, and it's
Really?
like. Yeah, but the thing
It
is,
was quite
we've grown up with
scary.
Doctor Who being so many different things. Like the last few years, of course, it's been of the stuff we've been watching. It's been historical and scientific stuff. It's been very educational, told through a sci-fi prism. When we get to like the Philip Hinchcliffe stuff in the 70s, it's a gothic horror show. Like it really changes. It goes through so many. It's about to become an espionage James Bond-esque show for a bit next. It's quite a mass in the pit.
I think
for a while.
with a change of Doctor, you kind of need that.
Yeah. But I think people didn't quite accept this at the time, and I know some find this to be a bit of a it's just silly, innit? But it's got creepy. It's got creepy nursery rhyme children and a well, so you know.
And those
Winner
soldiers
in my
were
book.
really creepy.
They were creepy.
Yeah.
Do you know what else was creepy?
Yeah.
Tobias Vaughan's eyebrows. The booklet's falling out. The invasion. The Cyberman one.
Oh yeah.
The return of Lethbridge Stewart now as a brigadier working
doing well,
for
guys.
UNIT,
I've remembered most of them so far.
the United Nations Intelligence Task
Got my teeth,
Force.
darling.
The United Nations Intelligence Task Force. Yes. I love this story. I've seen this story a good few times now.
Was the first one animated?
2 of the episodes were animated to replace them. Yeah, it was episode. Let's have a look. Mini show. Can you see which episodes it is, sweetheart? No. Okay, she's looking at my face. But 2 of the episodes were animated because the visuals just don't exist anymore.
Yeah. But the animation was really good.
The animation's
I liked
great
the
in this
animation. I didn't feel zoned out.
Zoned out.
I liked it. And I like Jamie. And
I like her blowing up a computer with logic speak at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And
I love that they
side
sat down
characters.
and revelled in it.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, this is great. I love the
Oh, we
side
should probably
characters.
go.
I love the side characters in this. I flipping love Tobias Vaughan. I think he's a great baddie because he's just a smarmy arsehole. And this starts a trend. This is the first story where the Cybermen, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it is a common Cyberman trope, and I do wish some writers would stop doing it, but where the Cybermen just sort of become a means to an end for another villain.
Yeah.
Like, they're their own thing in this, and he's double-crossing them, but it's very much a, oh, I intend to do that anyway. Look at my eyebrow and my slightly blinky eye. Hello.
Slightly blinky eye.
He's great. He's really good. And his assistant is really good, and the scientist side characters are really good, and the photographer, she's really good.
Yeah.
And
it's a jump back character, isn't it?
What
her
now?
uncle?
Oh, no, she's moved in. Her uncle or dad was a scientist that's kid out, but they were going to see Professor Thingy from Abominable Snowmen and Web of Fear.
Yeah,
they were going to see him, and he didn't live there anymore. Yeah. Well, he's gone somewhere else.
He's disappeared.
But he's not in this.
No, he's not in this.
No.
Sorry, I am mistaken.
But continuity.
Yeah,
but the Cybermen.
I like that. I think that's quite good. That.
What do you think of the design of these bad boys? Because this is their last redesign now, and it's the only time you'll see this look in the show.
I thought they were really creepy.
Apart from, again, tiny little appearance at the end of the War Games.
How did they talk, though? I can't quite remember.
I don't recall them talking very much in this one. It was more the computer, the talking phone, the communications unit that Tobias Vaughan had in his office that spoke to him. Around that one sort of talk like this. So it was, one of them in it.
Do you know what my favourite bit of this was, though?
What?
Not counting the Brigadier, because he's the best thing in all of it.
He's the best thing since Slice
This is the first time he's a Brigadier, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yay, Brigadier!
And this was the introduction of the United Nations Intelligence Task Force. Won't they be interesting if they return as the whole setting for the show?
Hoink. No, the best thing about this was in the guy's office, the bad guy's office.
Tobias Vaughan.
I'm really sorry, I'm awful with names.
Me too.
I will never be able to remember people's names.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, Gregor,
you remember? Oh my god. You remember the music though?
That should be the Sideman's theme tune. And I'm upset that it's not, because I know that it's not in the future.
Could you imagine that scene in Age of Steel where they're just fucking marching toward the the party, and it's just
yeah.
You will be deleted.
Who did the music for Modern Doctor Who? What's his name?
And Murray Gold did it.
Murray Gold. He would have been able to. Tweet that. Tweet that bad boy.
No, if you want interesting Sideman music, wait till Colin.
My favourite, I can't wait till Colin. But anyway, my favourite thing about this episode was in the guy's office, he had like, it was like technology, wasn't it, that they made that was really modern-y stuff.
Yeah.
And it was the cameras in his office.
And how some actors were filmed in like a wider shot, and some...
It was like close-ups of their face, like...
They're looking through a porthole.
It was really,
strange.
it was really amusing. It wasn't really my favourite.
But what do you think of the invasion?
Facetious.
I think, I'm going to make a prediction, I think this is your second favourite story of this series.
No.
It's your first favourite story?
No.
Really? I wonder. What's your favourite story of the series? Oh, hang on. Is the Mind Robber your second favourite story of the series?
Yes.
And this is your third?
Yes.
I know what your favourite is.
What do you think my favourite is?
I think it's the War Games.
Oh,
I really like the invasion. And it's a shame we don't see these Cybermen designs after this, but this is the design that influences how they look for the rest of the show. Like, every time we see them after this, it's the wide heads, the big bulbous sort of headphone area and everything.
This has been my favourite look so far.
Now...
Oh.
You want to see another semi-Dalek replacement? Hey, Minnie. You want to see another semi-Dalek replacement, Minnie? Hey? She's nuzzling my breast. Speaking of breasts, this is a lot of tits. The Krotons.
I like
Oh, we must do as the Krotons say. Now, this has got a great opening idea.
It has.
People going through is like some kind of ritual thing. They're going through a door because they have been chosen. And we're like, oh my god, what's going on? They're going to like a god's temple? What is this? And then we see it from the Doctor, Zoe and Jamie's perspective, where the person
outside,
just leaves and is evaporated. Like, is just completely shot and eradicated from existence. And you're like, what the hell is going on? It quickly devolves into just another, no, we're a bunch of very posh-talking white people playing an uncivilized situation. Uncivilized civilization. So not a civilization, and we're not clever enough to outwit the Krotons. But what's really stupid about it's robots that aren't quite formed at the start of the story. They sort of form in the story to speak to the Doctor and Zoe.
Yeah.
That's a cool sequence. The stuff with the tank and them all kind of growing out of it is really cool. And again, on paper, really cool designs. The Krotons in motion. Kind of stupid.
What was it from like waist down, from waist up? They look great.
They borrowed the curtains from the Dominators dresses. That's all that happened.
I've got to say, this series has been quite poor for costumes.
They're not bad costumes. They're just really kind of
at that moment,
kind of misjudged designs.
What episode did they come out in?
In like episode 3 or something. Yeah,
we were really
just like, trundled down the ramp.
We were really looking. Had you seen this story before? No. Oh, you had. Well.
I'd seen this one before.
I was looking forward to seeing what they actually looked like. And we were like, oh, wow, this is going to happen. Oh, yeah, look at their heads. And we just burst out laughing.
Little shuffling finger under a skirt.
This little skirt. It was like, oh my god. This is ridiculous. Come on, Doctor Who, where have your standards gone?
There's a great idea in here, but the problem is, it's sort of... The first 2 episodes are spent going, yes, so the Krotons did this and the Krotons did that, and we listen to the Krotons. The Krotons tell us everything. We know the Krotons... Just like... We get it. It's going to be a false god thing. Like, it's going to be a false god story.
False goddess.
But they don't tell us anything really about what the societies were, or why they just accept this existence. And they're always talking about how, like, we're not equipped to fight the Krotons. And you're like,
why?
Why? Tell us about that.
Tell us why.
Or were we lost in a war? Right? Why? What were you like before the war?
What are you talking about?
This is not fun.
Which is quite poor.
There's some really nice stuff with the Doctor and Zoe.
Yeah.
Like, again, the bit where they're sort of
yeah.
stalling for time and they're just being cute and adorable.
Oh, yeah, and then they do a test.
And there's a really creepy visual. The cliffhanger was it episode 1 or 2 where the sort of War of the Worlds Tom Cruise movie style, like, camera tendril thing comes out of the wall.
Oh, well,
that's a really cool cliffhanger.
That was not creepy.
Oh, I thought it was creepy.
It was poo.
Alright, well, talking of creepy or poo... What did you think of the Seeds of Youth? What did you think of the Seeds of Death?
Oh my god, how many episodes was this?
468,000.
I think you're right.
This was 6 episodes.
Oh my god, it went on way too long. This was so boring.
This is the return of the Ice Warriors, a really cool idea about research stations and teleportation machines with no sound effects. People just stand in and then they just disappear. It's like,
just disappear.
Oh, okay.
Not even like a...
I mean, that'd be brilliant. They just went, goodbye.
See you.
See you later, folks.
Hello!
Hello! Goodbye. Wait, hang on. How do we hear them say goodbye if they left?
Anyway,
and the scientist, the rocket builder, and his little museum of spacecrafts, and
See,
there's some great ideas that set this up.
Ideas that just
And then later on, the fungus plague on Earth is a great idea. Like they're clearing the Earth for use later. They're not looking to take over the human race. They're trying to kill the human race off, and then they're just going to use the planet as a base.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. And it's the Ice Warriors, and we get to meet like a nice sort of commander or something with his weird helmet and his fantastic arse.
Excuse me?
Do you not remember? Like,
no.
every other Ice Warriors costume is this big bulky avocado with legs. And then that guy was just like, ass. It was like a tighter fitting thing, and the emphasis was on the butt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, him and Zoe went to war.
Oh my god, Zoe won!
And he had a really cool, like, sort of prosthetic-y style mouth. And the other Ice Warriors just look like those rubber Toby faces that you go rah, 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 with. What do we think of the Seeds of Death, Sweet Lady?
Oh. It was so boring.
Yeah, you did zone out during this one.
Oh my god, do you know what the worst thing about it was? The leader of it. I sat on my wall. Hold on. Oh my god! It was getting under.
Someone open the Chamber of Secrets.
It's not even Nagini annoying. He sounded out of breath and just whispering, and it was really getting under my skin. I can't even tell you how annoyed I was getting. I had to just block it out.
Do you remember how excited?
It was driving me mad.
Do you remember how excited you were for the Ice Warriors?
No, I was just going to say that.
You've now had 2 Ice Warrior stories.
Oh.
I bet you are not excited to see them return anymore.
No.
Well,
because they whisper.
You've got like 3 series before you see them again.
Whispering is
and
so
they're
annoying.
in 2 stories, and they're not like the straight up baddies of a situation. And then you won't have to see them again until 2013. So
like hairy avocados.
Hairy avocado. Thanks. I like this.
Are you serious?
But it's not. Yeah, but it's not a revisitor. It's not
It's not.
I'm going to put on Seeds of Death. It's not one of those where I'm like, I'm going to put Seeds of Death on.
Were the Doctor, Jamie and Zoe even in it?
Yes, but there was one of... we played episode 4, we played our favourite game. Who's on holiday? Pat Troughton. But they've got a body double playing his unconscious body.
Yeah, and you see his face at one
minutes.
point, it's like, oh.
That is not Pat Troughton.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're hitting a momentous occasion here. This is the last time we're dipping into the Lost in Time box set. We don't need to use this anymore to plug in any gaps.
Oh.
But we did use it to help watch at least episode 2 of The Space Pirates.
Oh, me back.
I wish we could see this. Because the premise sounds as fun as hell. Like, it's literally a pirate story but told with spaceships. There's a whole thing of like, it's essentially a governor character and he's involved in it and his daughter's all part of this conspiracy and there's these pirates are raiding and you fight...
And her name was Elizabeth
and you
Swan.
meet like old sort of like sea brigand who's doing his own thing from the old ways.
Doing his own thing.
But that was great, like meeting that guy in the episode, do you know what I mean? The sort of prospectory character.
Yeah, he was.
There's some really cool ideas here and what an idea for a thingy. Like, they're on a ship. Jamie, the Doctor, and Zoe arrive on a ship, are separated from the TARDIS, and then it is blown to pieces and is obviously being dragged towards somewhere. By Space Pirates, we find later on.
Space Pirates.
It's not blown into shards. The core of the ship has been blown apart because it's been held together magnetically. It is separate sections.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get back to the TARDIS if only they can get their section near to that one and connect them. So there's this whole really tense thing in the second episode where the Doctor's trying to like reverse the magnetism,
and they're running out of air and stuff.
Oh, they're going to run out of air after a certain time, yeah. And he's trying to reverse the magnetism to get the cluster to come back together.
Neutron flow.
But it goes the wrong way. Wrong Doctor. But it goes the wrong way, and they go further away. It's like, and Troughton really plays the despair. Zoe sort of loses her cool in this one a bit because of that.
Yeah.
And Jamie still can't quite get a grasp of it all. Like, he's sort of regresses back to not really knowing much.
Yeah.
Because it's just too heartbreaking to even think about. That, yeah, they might not get back this time. They might die. I really wish we could watch The Space Pirates in full. And I would like to track down, if there's a Target novelisation, I'd like to read it.
I'm going to be completely honest with you here. I thought it was actual pirates. Even though isn't it called Space Pirates?
The Space Pirates.
Yeah, I thought it was actually.
It's more Firefly.
I thought it was going to be like a big a big pirate ship in space.
Yeah, modern Doctor Who's ruined things for you.
I was really hoping it would be.
If you want pirates flying around in space, wait until Curse of the Black. I don't know.
Do I have to wait that long and be disappointed?
There is another classic Doctor Who story involving science fiction pirates. It's in the Key to Time series. It's a Tom Baker story. It's written by Douglas Adams, and it's called The Pirate Planet.
The Pirate Planet. Now, see, that sounds good. But I was
and pretty damn great.
In my head, I was like, oh yes, can't wait. I'm really sad that we'll only be able to watch one episode, and then it came out. I was like, oh.
I'm fine with this.
No, I was like, oh.
Well, don't worry. If you want episodes,
I don't know why I expected that.
We've got a lot of them. We've got 10 of the buggers. Lucy, what was the War Games about?
What was the War Games?
And don't say 5 hours. Wins. Drop some wool on the dog.
It's alright. It's not like I need it or anything. I don't.
The dog.
What is the War Games not about?
No, seriously, what's the basic premise of the War
The
Games?
basic premise is
we're being speedier in this one because we've got limited memory card space.
And also the cat broke it. I don't even remember how they ended up there. They end up there
in what they believe is 1917.
Yeah, because it's during the war, and they're in like they're
in no man's land.
They're at the battlefield.
Yeah,
and they don't know how they got there and stuff, and they get taken to the headquarters, and the head of it is telling everybody that they're spies and stuff, and that they need to be put on trial.
Reverse demon headmaster.
Yeah, and he would put on his glasses.
Passive aggressive hypnotist.
Yeah.
You will flipping do as I say, you shits.
And then everyone's like hypnotised into doing what he says.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, of course, yes, no, you're right.
And the Doctor's nearly killed.
Yep, twice. Although we don't see it the second time.
And he gets saved by Zoe.
Twice.
Can you see?
Then they realise they're not in 1917.
Everything is not quite as it seems.
When they go through a mist and are suddenly ambushed by Roman soldiers.
Yeah, they try and run away. And they're ambushed by definitely Roman soldiers. Definitely.
Well, for the context of the story, they definitely are. Oh yeah, because of course you don't understand this yet. They didn't have the budget to get real Roman soldiers into the show.
Why?
Oh God.
Anyway.
It's all an elaborate game by a race of aliens, led by the Warlord, whose chief scientific officer and the war chief are in charge of these games. And we learn later on that they're all to discover which is the most ruthless force, because they're going to essentially program all the warriors they've taken to be like that, and then use them to topple governments and other armies.
Yeah.
Because at least one of them, the war chief, believes in sort of intergalactic peace through forceful rule.
Yeah.
Though the Doctor sort of surmises that, that's also because you want to rule over someone, you want glory, you want to use your power. Because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this ain't just a random villain. This is another Time Lord. It's the first time the term Time Lord is used in the show. This will be the third Time Lord we've met, after the Doctor and the Monk. This guy's getting involved the way the Monk does, but not in I just think that it should go this way sort of history tampering. In I'm going to dominate the universe using mankind. Because they believe that Earth people are the most ruthless and most violent and vicious because of things like their loyalty, their hatred, their xenophobia. Like, these things can be used to make perfect soldiers. There are a lot of really nice characters in this. There's the nurse, there's Carstairs, there's the general's sort of assistant guy, the toady guy who's like in charge of the paperwork. There's the German commandant, who is also the leader of the Southern American forces in the Civil War area.
Yeah.
That actor's great because he gets to play three characters.
He had a monocle and a scar.
He bloody well did.
Wow.
There's
an evil man.
There's the soldier who rescues them the first time when they're in the Civil War area, and you suddenly go, "Oh my God, there are other people who understand what's going on."
Yeah.
And expands the story because you find out the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe in this instance, which is unusual for this series because this series they sort of arrive and then a story starts. In this one, They've arrived in the middle of the story.
Yeah.
There are already people fighting for the freedom, people who've sort of pieced together what's happening and have overcome the mental conditioning. Like, some of them are very strong-willed and are able to fight back against, like, the hypnotic control.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do, but they know they need to keep fighting back. That's when the Doctor starts to throw a monkey wrench into the works. Ultimately, though, he needs help. There's too many people displaced, and they need to return to their times, and the technology needs to be essentially confiscated once he's broken it all and stopped it all. So he calls in the Time Lords, knowing that this is probably going to be the last thing he's allowed to do. But it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You suddenly feel the weight of the Doctor's choice to run away. Well, but his choice to run away from his people. You suddenly realise how serious he was about leaving his home planet, which again isn't named, but the Time Lords are named.
Yeah.
We know that he's frightened of them, and he keeps saying to Zoe and Jamie, like, you need to either go or let them send you home. Because you will be in serious trouble if you stay with me. And you get the idea early on that he's going to try and make a break for it, and he doesn't want to risk their safety when he does it.
Yeah.
And he seems so sad, especially when he finally says goodbye to them after they make like one last chance to make a break for it.
Oh my god, that was tense. I was really egging them on to get to the TARDIS and get away.
But no.
But they get in the TARDIS. And then they land in some water, and there's a shark.
The end of episode 9, going into thinking, I meant at the very end.
In my head, I was kind of going, it's going to be fine. They're going to go away together.
But that's why the episode 10 bit's really tough, when they sort of, he's like, all right, come on, let's go. And they try to make a break for it.
Yeah.
And you get the sense that after it's happened, and they're inevitably stopped, you get the sense that he was just humouring them. Don't you?
Yeah.
Because he knows that's it. And it's a horrible moment. He says bye to them. They're going to be returned to their original times. And they say goodbye. And he makes it really short and sweet. And then as soon as they go into like the TARDIS where they're going to be taken home, by the Time Lords, he says to the Time Lord, they won't remember me, will they? He says, they'll remember their first adventure with you. We're going to return them to the exact moment after you left with them.
Yeah.
And they'll remember everything up to that moment.
I remember.
So they'll remember the Doctor, they'll remember meeting him.
Yeah.
But they'll also forget each other. Jamie will have never met Zoe.
Oh my god,
and
I
Zoe,
didn't even think
and
of
Zoe
that.
will just know Jamie as that bloke she met once with the Doctor.
Oh.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? But
It was quite emotional.
But we get a return to the set of Will from Space. And Jamie gets plonked straight back into the end of the Highlanders and straight into a fight. And he's going for it. Which is nice. Like earlier on in the story, he teams up with a Redcoat who's also imprisoned, and there's some really good stuff. The Doctor pretending to be the prison inspector.
Yeah.
How dare you, sir! It's just getting really sort of stuffy. It's very Hartnell all of a sudden, and it's really fun to watch Troughton play a stuffy blowhard. That guy got shot in the leg and then returned to his prison cell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good effort, okay.
The War Chief is a lot of fun. Very camp. You loved his physicality.
He
Kept
was
swishing
like a
his
panto
arms
villain.
and-
It was
yeah.
fantastic.
Which is why the Warlord seemed kind of frightening when he arrived, because he was very quiet and sadistic. But then he turned to camera, and those bloody spectacles would ruin everything.
They could have got fake ones where it didn't like magnify his
Yeah,
eyes.
that was. But
It looks really funny.
I think that's because they were going with the ongoing thing of them all having a version of spectacles and stuff.
Well, it kind of needed like Austin Powers music.
The science guy. For some reason, I think the actor thought that every character in Doctor Who must speak like a robot.
It was really annoying.
I hated that. It got on my tits.
I've
seen this before. I'd forgotten how much he got on my tits. He really got on my tits.
Right on him.
Let's talk about the Doctor's trial and saying goodbye to Pat. So he's put on trial by the Time Lords, essentially for legging it with the TARDIS and interfering, and they don't like that, because this is the story where we learn that the Time Lords have the power to see all of time, and they choose to just observe and document, and they don't really get involved in any way. In fact, them even having a court case for the Warlord is very unusual.
Yeah.
Because the War Chief is killed, And a lot of fans go, well, then he regenerates into the Master. No, he doesn't. He's a random Time Lord, and he's shot to death.
He did look like the Master.
No,
though.
he didn't.
He did look.
No, the Master looked like the Warlord, the War Chief. Yeah. No, Roger Delgado and the Master are a completely different entity, with much better facial hair. Then Ainley's in it, and he's great, but he's a Panto villain. So anyway, yeah, he's put on trial, and we get to see a few glimpses. We get a bit of a greatest hits of the monsters from the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
See the Yeti and the Ice Warriors and Cybermen and the Quarks, and we see a Dalek in the Dalek's last appearance. As far as
though. Oh, they were
no Chumblies. Chumblies were good guys,
yeah,
and they were the first Doctor's enemies. But
yeah, still a Doctor in it.
Yeah, but this was focusing on the second Doctor's run, and as far as we knew, that would be the last appearance of a Dalek in the show. As far as we were aware at that point.
What a shame.
I'm
joking.
Don't worry, they'll be back with Terry Nation scripts. So there's lots of radioactive jungles for no reason.
Oh my god, Daleks. Enough.
But he basically says, what's his case to the Time Lords? What's his like?
That there's lots of evil in the world and we need to go out and help everybody against it.
Yeah, we need to fight it.
Yeah.
And the Time Lords take that into consideration.
They're like,
And go, all right, fam, we get you. We don't approve, but since we're not going to restrict you, we're not going to imprison you, we're not going to keep you here. We've noticed that you have a fondness for Earth, and he's like, yes, it seems to be one of the more vulnerable planets. Because at this point, the Doctor's not like he doesn't love Earth necessarily. He's a fan of the histories. We found out with the first Doctor, the Romans and the Revolution in France, things like that. There's certain history that he's fascinated by.
Yeah, reading the book that I'm reading right now, he gets really excited about it.
Yeah, you're reading the Roundheads. By Mark Gatiss.
By Mark Gatiss.
How dare you say his surname correctly?
Mark Gatto.
That'll do.
I love a bit of Mark Gatto.
Oh God.
It's my favourite dessert. I forgot we were on camera then, sorry.
Well done,
I forgot
dear.
we were recording, I was just chatting shite.
Well done. It's happened for most of my career, don't worry about it.
That's what I do with most of my day.
So they say, right, you think Earth's vulnerable and you seem to have a fondness for it, we're going to send you to Earth.
For the rest of time.
But we're going to take the secret of the TARDIS away from you, which, as you find out next series, means that you can't pilot it.
He couldn't pilot it.
No, but like
Sorry.
But this time he really can't make it function at all. But not only that, they're going to change his face, and he's absolutely fuming about that. Oh, he's too fat. He's too thin.
Fuming. He's livid.
He's chuffing livid.
Absolutely livid.
But then off he goes, screaming into the abyss. They're making him
but
giddy.
also, he can choose his face. That's not preferred.
They give him the option.
Yeah. What?
Oh, you're saying like later on in the monsters?
Yeah,
that's not.
it's like,
yeah,
what?
no, it is. As the classic run goes by, you'll learn that regeneration.
Romana, is it?
Time Lords can. Yeah, Romana.
Romana 1, Romana 2.
Romana 2 picks her. Could you take the dog from me? Sorry, my back's here. Son. Romana 2 picks her form. Ninth Doctor sets up later on that I could have two heads, I could have no head. Like, it's not just you change from one bloke to another.
Have a vagina.
She
Wait,
can.
do they have?
Presumably. But then again, Time Lords don't procreate that way. However,
how do they procreate? How do they?
The books go into it. This whole like they're like grown and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very Krypton-esque kind of shite.
Oh,
none of it's canon necessarily, but we must assume that he has some form of genital in some incarnations because the 11th Doctor and River bump uglies a lot. So we must assume there's something down there.
Like
the Doctor's penis does. Hey! So that was the War Games. How do you feel now that Pat's era is at an end for you?
I don't feel the way I thought it would. I think it's because you don't see
the regeneration.
John Pertwee's face. I think if you saw him, that would be like finite for me. So in my head, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, he could. I know he can't, but maybe there's a few more stories I can.
Well,
have
have we talked about Series 6B?
What?
There is a fan theory which was created in a book in the 90s and then has gone on to be a thing, and some authors have even written books set in this theory. Season 6B is a series in which the Time Lords snatch him from from his regeneration very quickly, but before his exile, and go, actually, there's a few things we need you to do for us. They send him on a few errands first, as a way to lineate his sentence somewhat.
Need some bread and milk.
Yeah, but he says only if he can have help, and they say he's allowed one person.
Jamie.
And so Jamie's returned to the Doctor.
Doctor and Jamie are the best duo.
There are books based on it. There are comics based on it.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, one of the stories later on, a multi-Doctor story, is quite possibly set during Series 6B for the second Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the two Doctors, the Colin Baker story, Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines return as the second Doctor and Jamie, looking noticeably older than they did when we last saw them.
That's what's like.
Right down to Pat having grey hair.
Oh, I love Patrick Troughton.
And they could very easily have given him a wig. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's his hair and it's grey, and the recent box set of figures, the 12 Doctors box set they put out, and there were slight variants in it. The second Doctor's got like grey hair in that box.
Aww.
So they've referenced it in the toys even.
Oh, I think I know which one you mean.
Yeah. Now there was a film on here which we've not watched because I don't want to confuse you. But there's a fan film in here called Devious, which is a short film set with that kind of premise. There's one more mini adventure, but he's in a random incarnation for that adventure before then being placed into his proper place and regenerates, and John Pertwee appears at the end of the film as the third Doctor. So Pat Troughton lives on. The second Doctor does live on in a fan theory. You've bought a shitload of Pat Troughton Doctor Who books this past couple of months.
I'm not ready to let him go yet.
And I'm happy to report, but you already know this, you're going to see him 3 more times in the main show.
Yeah.
So
he's so funny and he's just so funny and so charming. I'm really sad. Something else is going to be weird. It's going to be weird to watch Doctor Who in colour.
Which is, again, a weird statement, because you've been watching Doctor Who in colour for most of your life.
Yeah, but I've been so invested in
We've spent the last
second.
We've spent the last 9 months watching 6 years worth of black and white television, and that's Doctor Who. And
that's Doctor Who to me right now. I mean, the last series came out and we watched it during this.
Yeah, Series 11 of the modern series. Yeah,
but I don't know. This is Doctor Who for me right now, and I absolutely love it. And it's going to be really, really weird.
I'm fascinated to see how you react to season 7.
I've not seen a lot of John Pertwee stuff.
I can't wait, because John's the Doctor I grew up with. Like, McGann was my introduction. I watched the TV movie go out on telly, and then I was like, oh. So my dad tried to educate my ass on it a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And once UK Gold and BBC Two started doing repeats in the late 90s, it was mostly John and early Tom that they showed. So John was my Doctor growing up. And then the Five Doctors DVD came out, one of the first BBC DVDs, they were all just silver. Every DVD was a silver cover. And that was my first sort of exposure to, the mythology of it, and here's multiple Doctors, and I recognise the white-haired fella, and this little fella with bowl cut and a fur coat, he's funny, and do you know what I mean? Like, it really got me into the idea of it properly, but John was my Doctor. I cannot wait to start this next part of the marathon. I am gagging to start this next part. The next story is my favourite, probably joint favourite with the 11th Hour, but it's my favourite post-regeneration story. The first story of them in the new body going like, oh, bugger, I've got to deal with the thing and I'm not ready yet. Spearhead from Space and the 11th Hour are my joint favourite ones for that. I think they're really... I've got fondness for the Christmas Invasion, but it's only really a post-regeneration story for the last 5 minutes. But I love Spearhead from Space. It's also the first Blu-ray we're going to watch.
Weird.
Because Spearhead is on Blu-ray, because it was shot on film, because it was during a strike, so it was all shot externally, and there's no interior sets that are shot on studio cameras. They're all shot on film. So we're going to watch the Blu-ray of Spearhead. We've got Doctor Who and the Silurians after that, which has got some really interesting stuff in it, but it's a bit of a long one. We've got the Ambassadors of Death after that, which I know a lot of people like. I'm not a fan. You might find something you really enjoy in it. And then we've got Inferno, which is fucking great. So I'm really excited for this next run. I'm doubly excited for season 8, because that's when the Master joins the show. The one true future and past Master Roger Delgado. And I can't wait for you to see it. I think you're going to really dig it by then. I think the Brigadier, as weird as it sounds, is going to be the thing that helps you get used to this new show.
I am.
Because we're with him almost instantly in Spearhead. Like, you meet Liz Shaw and the Brigadier is reintroduced in the same scene, and you're going to be like, oh, there he is!
It's definitely, you saying that has just reminded me that it's going to be weird because there's no companions transitioning into the new series.
This is the first time it is, well, I suppose the first time it's completely new was Pat, but like this is the first time the show is like scrub clean, back to square one.
You had Ben and Polly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Pat was a big enough change, but Ben and Polly were still there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And also it was the same series. Like it was week after week. Whereas between this, War Games and Spearhead, there's like 9 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be in colour. It's going to be a new Doctor.
Weird.
Brand new setting.
Weird.
New creatures.
Is it all on Earth?
Next series is all on Earth.
I don't mind that.
And the series after that is all on Earth. And a good chunk of the series after that is all on Earth. Because he's exiled.
Mm-hmm.
But the show is still not limited by that. Because it's Doctor Bloody Who.
Wait.
It's about to become Quatermass meets James Bond.
Wait.
That's the sort of vibe it is now.
Ask one question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going back to a memory of us sat in a beer garden with the lovely Guy Lambert.
Lovely guy, yeah.
And you guys doing impressions of that thing.
The Raston Warrior robot.
Yeah, is that in?
No.
What's that in?
That's in the 5 Doctors.
Oh, well, he's in it.
We've got like another 10 months of this shit before we get to that.
I was going to say, because that is what I'm looking forward to. But if that's not in...
John's in that story.
Yeah, that's why I got confused.
And Nick Courtney is in that story. And Patrick Troughton's in that story. So, yeah, Doctor Who Season 6. Overall, bit of a mixed bag, but some strong stories. So
Last
again,
series was better.
Let me guess. Invasion's your third favourite. Mind Robber's your second favourite.
Mm-hmm.
The War Games is your favourite.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I the first time I watched the War Games, I was like, that's a bit long. Second time, I appreciated it so much more.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Invasion. I really like the Mind Robber.
The War Games could have done with being a little bit shorter, but I don't know what they'd have taken out.
Yeah, I think just paced it up a little. Maybe not had one of the back and forths of location.
There was a lot of men in rubber running around when those force fields were up. Oh, wow.
Hey, that ain't stopping anytime soon.
I love it.
And next time, you're going to get to see the Doctor naked.
Oh, no.
Having a shower.
Oh, no.
Singing the Jabberwock poem.
I have a little
He's also
crush.
got a tattoo.
I know. I have a little crush on Patrick Troughton.
Little known secret about my lovely wife Lucy. She tends to lean toward an older man. I'm the weird exception. I'm 10 days younger than you.
Yeah.
She's a cradle snatcher for 10 days of the year, every year, and I always
you
tell
didn't
her.
reference it this year. I made it.
I was busy. I think I don't know if it'll be right away. I think you're going to start getting a bit of a thing for John Pertwee.
I don't know.
And I'll tell you for why.
Why?
Got the comical lisp, got the strange old young face as it's described in one of the books. Sort of the same thing. Him and Matt Smith have in common an old young face. Like their face could exist to any age really, and you can't quite play this youth and elder sort of looks in both their faces, and it's sort of really odd.
Right.
Matt Smith as the Doctor. Matt Smith as Matt Smith just looks like a young, early 30s actor. Early 30-year-old actor.
Long, thin man.
Well, no, do you know what I mean? Like they've got an strange old young face.
Yeah,
but
I see what you mean.
He's suave as hell.
Oh, no.
He's proper debonair. Best dressed Doctor of the bunch by far.
He's got a beautiful cape.
He's got a series of beautiful capes.
There's more than one.
There's more than one cape.
Ooh, I look forward to the cape action.
And also he's got a warmth that, like Will, grows more over his stories. In his first series, he's going to be very flighty and very sort of defensive. He does not want to be there. He's trapped there and he's annoyed about it. In his second series, he gets Jo as an assistant. And he's very annoyed by that.
Who's his assistant in the first series?
She's his equal. In the first series, Liz Shaw, she's the new sort of science advisor for UNIT.
Oh.
And Caroline John, she's only in the one series, so she's in 4 stories, so enjoy them. That's all you see of Liz Shaw until a cameo in Dimensions in Time,
Is this
which we will
where
be
it
watching.
starts off being mostly female companions and there only being one?
The Third Doctor's era, you have Liz Shaw, then you have Jo Grant, and then you have Sarah Jane Smith. But you also have Benton Yates, the Brigadier. Like, you have a regular supporting cast of male characters
be weird,
in there.
Only having one companion.
Yeah.
Which is weird because...
And that is the formula now until the end of Tom's run.
Yeah.
When it gets crowded as fuck in that TARDIS.
What's his name? Broderick?
Adric.
Adric,
He's
it.
toward the end of Tom.
Broderick.
Rodney. Plonker Rodney.
I've got to say, I'm going to go against the grain here and say that I'm not a massive fan of Sarah Jane Smith.
Why?
Because...
Why are we talking about this in our season 6 review? No, go on. We've got a bit of time.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to seeing her properly because the only thing I've seen her in was the Tom Baker stories that I've seen in passing when my mum and dad were watching it. And she was always screaming.
She's
and I
not.
was like,
She's really
that's
not.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what's in my head. And I'm like, oh my God, stop screaming. So in my head, she's really annoying. I know she's not, and I know that everybody loves her. And so I'm looking forward to feeling
You watched a good chunk of Sarah Jane Adventures. You know she's absolutely adorable.
Yes.
Yeah, I think adult you is going to be wondering what glue child you was sniffing when you watch her.
Okay.
Because what you were describing does not describe Sarah Jane Smith. So it's probably a couple of very specific moments you saw and remembered.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. And like I say, I'm looking forward to feeling how everybody else feels about it.
Well, goodbye, Jamie, for now. Goodbye, Zoe, for now.
What?
Goodbye, the Second Doctor, for now. And goodbye, Black and White Doctor Who.
Weird.
It's been fun. But...
End of an era.
End of an era. But now... hop into Bessie.
Oh, Bessie. My mum and dad.
Get your cape on.
I'm trying to figure out which one it was.
Get your cape on. And prepare to tit around with some test tubes and look annoyed.
Does he have a cane?
No.
Oh.
But he does practice Venusian Aikido.
What the hell is that?
Oh!
Is it fighting?
Oh, boys and girls, I can't wait. We'll see you again soon!
Oh.
Ta-ra!